What I have here is a programme from a souvenir programme from 1935, and it's the Royal Jubilee, which the new Victoria was celebrating, which is known as the Odeon Cinema now, announcing our great Jubilee film offerings. And you would get a booklet like the one I'm holding with the good old Union Jacks on and the King and Queen of the time. And it was actually billed as the new Victoria, Bradford's luxurious super, a Gaumont British theatre. So, for example, front stalls would be 7p, balcony 9p, and back stalls a shilling, and circle 1 and 6. Well, there's some more information on here which is quite good. Every attendant is instructed to show courtesy at all patrons, and any complaints should be addressed to the manager. Doctors, nurses, business gentlemen, etc. expecting telephone calls are invited to leave their names at the pay box on entering, when they will be called if desired. Ices, teas, chocolates, cigarettes, etc. may be obtained on application to the attendants. Definite etiquette, and these days you go to the cinema and it says please do not put your phone on and things like that. It's saying the same sort of thing but in a different era.
Yeah.
And there's a more polite way of doing things. The trip to the cinema was quite an outing. It was something, a special evening out. If you think about it, that wages were not particularly fantastic, and you may have had to have saved up just to go to the cinema. So it was a night out on the town, just to go and see a moving pictures. You think of the fashions of the time, you would dress up, you'd go out for the evening, you'd put your fine clothes on, you know, unless it was Saturday morning, which was then the children's matinee, and it'd be full of screaming kids watching Buck Rogers in black and white, you know, every Saturday morning, continued next week. You had, as daft as it sounds, films that I can't even say I've heard of, except for you've got Great Expectations, Father Brown Detective, Things Are Looking Up, Strange Wives, Strictly Confidential. Again, when you look back at 1935, how many stars would we today remember, other than the big stars? And you're talking about Loretta Young, John Boyles, Warner Baxter, George Breakston. These are all names that don't mean anything to me.
Well, that's the thing as well, is that we're talking of days as well, especially where the film industry was exactly that.
Yeah.
It was get films out all the time because there was such a voracious appetite and not much in the way of alternative.
That's right.
So there are things that are going to be fall down the wayside simply because there was just so much being made.
Yeah.
And so much in Britain.
Yeah. I mean, you know your popular ones, which would be your Laurel and Hardys and Charlie Chaplin's. You know, those were the things that were out there in their numbers, vast numbers. But there were lots of small companies out there making movies that needed to showcase, and these were fantastic places to come and do this. Sort of the early 30s, just after it had opened, they started doing the Festival of Remembrance, where people, veterans of the First World War, were invited to come along to a concert on their behalf to celebrate and remember fallen comrades from World War One. And you'd have members of the Bradford Pals attending, and they'd have various bands playing from different divisions of the military, and they'd be hosted by the Lord Mayors of the time, and it was a way of getting everybody together to celebrate such an important part of the 20th century. It's interesting to see that the Odeon was chosen as a venue because of its size. You could get all the veterans in there, all the different representatives from all the different Army, Navy, Air Force at the time. Yes, I must. You don't think of the Air Force, but yeah, they were there at the time. And it's showing you the huge amount of respect paid for these survivors of World War One. And this event was held specially for them, and like I said, to remember fallen comrades. We produce a booklet for the actual event which remembers Lots of items of World War One in there, the different battles, remembering the people that were lost, cartoons in there, sort of the lighter side if there is one of World War One, but also remembering the battlefields. You would have photographs in there showing where some of our brave lads went in World War One, that departed from Foster Square Station and then probably never came back. So again, this building was used as a very important part of the remembrance service, which obviously the cenotaph is used every single year, but the Odeon was part of that. And you had the main auditorium, which was used for shows as well as movies eventually. The ballroom was a separate entity off to one side, which then became Odeon 3, as I affectionately know it from my time of going to see the cinema. It also had a bingo hall as well inside, the rank bingo as they used to call it. So yeah, it gradually morphed into something more than just the stage. It was gradually broken down into segments, and each became its own purpose, and then eventually you had the 3 cinemas inside, Odeon 1, 2 and 3.